Hey guys, welcome back to Saint Isidore's channel. My name is Kurt and today I'm going to be discussing about review of ratio and proportion. Now firstly, what is ratio? Well, ratio is simply the comparison of two numbers of the same units or different units of the same kind. Now, it is obtained by dividing the first number or first value to the second number or second value. For example, A and B. Now, to make it into a ratio, it is written as like this. Now, this is actually read as A is to B. Now, since the applied or the correct equation in ratio is division, we can express it as since the indicated operation is division. Now, since it is a fraction, the denominator cannot be 0. Also, since ratio is just like a fraction, we can simplify any fraction to its lowest terms or any higher terms by multiplying or dividing the denominator and the numerator by the same number. For example, eight over 64. Now, they both can be divided by 8. Now, it is 1 over 8. We can do that because in a ratio, or just like any fraction, we could actually simplify it or we can reduce it to lower terms. We can also multiply it by a number so that we can raise the value of the denominator and the numerator. Now again, 8 over 64. If we multiply it by 2, the answer will be 16 over 128. We can apply that actually to a problem or a mathematical problem. So simplify the ratio for feet is to 8 inches. Now, to solve this, we need to convert feet or the 4 feet into inches so that we can simplify them or they can have the same unit of measurement. Now, we know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So now applying this to our equation, we need to apply 4 feet into the formula so that we may convert the unit of measurement and turn it into inches. Now 4 feet is equal to 4 multiplied by 12 inches, since 1 inch is equal to 12 inches. Now 4 feet is, if converted, 4 times 12 is 48, so it is 48 inches. Now that we have found the conversion of 4 feet to inches, we must apply this again to the earlier ratio. So 48 inches is to 8 inches. We can simplify this further by dividing both sides by 8, since they are both divisible by 8. Now 48 divided by 8 is 6 inches. And 8 divided by 8 is 1, so it is only 1 inch. That's it. Also, never forget to apply or write the unit of measurement, or the answer will be automatically wrong. In math, we need to be very accurate in what our answer is, or we need to be very specific, or not, the equation will be wrong. Now I have a new problem here saying divide the number 50 into two parts such that they are in the ratio 2:8. Now, if the ratio of the unknown quantities are given, we need to substitute x or any variable to represent the unknown quantities. Now, it is written as 2x is to 8x. Why again? Because x in this equation is representing the unknown quantities, so that we can divide 50 into two parts in the ratio 2:8. Now, to find the value of x, we need to add these two, 2x and 8x, and they will be equal to 50. Now, combining like terms, 2x plus 8x is equal to 10x. Furthermore, to find x, we need to divide it by the coefficient to cancel its coefficient. Now 50 divided by 10 is 5. Now we know that x is equal to 5. Is our answer correct? Now, to actually check it, we need to substitute the value of x that we have found into this equation. Now 2 multiplied by x, which is 5, added to 8x, substituted again, so it will be 5, is equals to 50. So now, 2 times 5 is 10, added to 8 times 5 is 40 equal to 50. Now 10 plus 40 is 50. They are equal. Now, is our answer correct? Yes. Why? Because 10 and 40 resulted up to the answer 50, which is the total quantity in the equation or the problem, which is also 50. So it is equal now. Now the two values in the ratio 2:8 is actually 10 and 40. Resulting up to 50, so we actually are right. Now we are on to proportion. What is proportion, you ask? Well, basically, proportion is a statement that indicates the equality of two ratios. It is also written as like this. Now, this time it is read as A is to B as C is to D. This can be turned into a fraction. So A over B and C over D. Now, in the proportion, each of these or each value are called terms. The inner terms are called means. Whilst the two outer terms, A and D, are extremes. Now, if A is to B is equivalent to C is to D, that would mean that statement is actually a proportion. There is something that we call fundamental principle of proportion. It states that in any proportion, the product of the means and extremes are equivalent. So, A, B equal to C, D. So, the product of this, since as you know, we can convert this into a fraction or we can express it as a fraction, we can cross multiply it since they are separated by an equal sign, in which case cross multiplying can be done. Thus, AD is equal to BC. Now that is what the fundamental principle of proportion is stating. Moving on, we have equations involving proportions. So first, mean proportional. I'll give you an example. Find the mean proportional between 4 and 64. So, if we're going to write it, it will be 4 is to x as x is to 64. Then again, we are going to find the mean proportional. That's why the two means are represented as x, or I represented them as variables. Now, what we have to do is to multiply the means and extremes. Well, you can also write it like 4 over x is equal to x over 64. That would be x times x is actually x squared is equal to 4 times 64 is 256. So, to find x, we need to find the square root of x squared and 256 to cancel the square, or to cancel the square of x. So, find the square root of both sides, cancel the square root of x. So that will leave us with x is equal to 256. Its square root is actually 16, or plus and minus 16. Why is it plus minus 16 or positive negative 16? Because it can be either positive 16 or negative 16, because either way, if you multiply positive 16 to itself and negative 16 to itself, it will give you the answer positive 256. Well, moving on, I have a new problem here to find the third proportional of 7 and 20. So, if you encounter a problem like this, you can write it as 7 is to 20 as 20 is to x. Now, this is called third proportional, or the x is called third proportional because the means have same value. So respectively, 7 is actually the first extreme and 20 are the two means. And x is the unknown given, or the third proportional. So then again, you can turn it into a fraction as you wish. Then cross multiply it to find x. Now this will be 7x is equal to 400. Now, to find x, we would have to divide it by the coefficient to cancel it. Now x is equal to 400 over 7. That is our answer, since 407 cannot be further simplified. Moving on to our last example, I have here to find the fourth proportional to 4, 8, and 10. Now, write it as 4 is to 8 as 10 is to x. Now, this is different from the previous example since we have different values of means now and we have 3 givens. That would mean the only one left is the fourth term, or the second extreme, at the equation. You can turn it into a fraction again. Then cross multiply it. Now, multiply 4 to x, and that will give us 4x. And multiply 8 to 10, and that will give us 80. Now, to find x, we need to divide both sides by the coefficient to find x. Then again, divide 80 by 4, and that will give us 20. So that will conclude my lecture about ratio and proportion. Thank you so much guys for watching. Please leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more lectures of my fellow classmates. And remember, math is fun. Bye!